Good morning, children. I hope all of you are doing good. So, children, we are going to start with chapter 4 of geography today, that is agriculture. If we talk about the word agriculture, agriculture was the main occupation from the ancient times in our country, and till date, our two-thirds of our population is still engaged in the agriculture activities. And we all know well it is a primary activities and it produces the major essential of food which we all consume, and above all it produces different kinds of raw material that are very necessary for many industries too. So if we talk about the agricultural products that we extract, whether those are spices, whether that's tea, whether that's coffee, whether that's wood, the paper, so many things we extract from nature that form a very base for these agricultural activities. So, in this chapter, we'll be reading about first of all different types of farming practices that are practiced in India from ancient times and how they have changed in our recent years. See, agriculture, we have already read that it is an age old economic activity in our country. And when we talk of the farming practices that are practiced in our country, the very first one given to you on the very first page is primitive subsistence farming. Primitive obviously means the old ancient methods that we adopt. Any type of farming that is done with the help of the primitive, the ancient tools like hoe, dhow, or digging sticks, those type of equipments that were used or are used for such farming practices, and of course that is done for the self consumption more, this type of farming is known as primitive subsistence farming. That means with the old methods, farmers are able to survive with these old techniques and able to produce at least this much yield that they are able to consume it for their families too. It is also known as slash and burn cultivation, and you have already learnt in your previous classes too. When we talk of slash and burn cultivation, it definitely means that farmers clear a patch of land and produce cereals and many other crops to sustain their family. Those leftovers are burnt out for some time. It is left barren, the land is left barren, and after a month or two, again the soil regains the fertility and crops can be grown very well over there. So, this practice is followed from the ancient times in our country until date. Of course, many of our farmers are following this practice. Now, children, when we talk about this primitive subsistence farming, in many parts of our country it is practiced and known by many names. There are many names given to you. One I've already told you, slash and burn cultivation. Another name in Mexico, if we talk about, is milpa, and zooming in northeastern states like Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Nagaland. In Manipur, it is known as Pamlo, Deepa in Bastar district of Chhattisgarh and Andaman and Nicobar Islands. And then in different countries, it is known by different names. Like in Mexico, it is called Milpa. Central America, then in Venezuela, they call it Conoco. Roca in Brazil. So there are many names given to you. Just go through them. And if you can see the picture, it clearly defines the practice of slash and burn cultivation or primitive subsistence farming that farmers do on their land. Now, if we move to our next page, they have told you another method of farming pattern that is adopted in India or farming practices that are done in India. It is intensive subsistence farming. See, this type of farming is practiced in the areas where we have very large population. And of course, children, it is labor intensive techniques. many of our farmers, they get employment because of this labor intensive technique. And of course, there is enormous pressure on agricultural land because of these practices too. Intensive subsistence, where maximum output is taken out from the limited land, and of course in the absence of alternative sources of livelihood, right? Next pattern that we have is a part of commercial farming. See, wherever the word commercial is added, we always know commercial itself means market. We are doing something to continue the process of demand and supply, to continue to grow our GDP, to work for the economy, to sell in the market, to bring more of profits for ourselves. So when we talk of commercial farming, it is one of the method of modern farming actually in our country, where HYV seeds, those are high yielding variety seeds, chemical fertilizers, insecticides and pesticides, in order to obtain very high productivity are used. And of course it differs from one region to other region according to the requirement. So there are many commercial crops grown in our different states. For example, rice is one of the commercial crop. It is grown in Haryana and Punjab as a commercial crop, but maybe in some other state like Orissa, it is grown as a subsistence crop. So it depends. If you are doing the marketing of a crop, you are taking it to the market and you have lot of yield with you, of course you get better profits too. And when we talk of this commercial farming, where farms, one kind of crops are grown in large number of farms, it is also termed as plantation farming. It is a part of commercial farming only. And in this type of farming, a single crop is grown on a very large area. And of course, the migrant labor, the capital infrastructure that is required is to a very large extent. And when we talk of many of our plantation or commercial crops like tea, coffee, rubber, sugarcane, they are grown to a very large extent in different states. For example, tea is grown to a very large extent in Assam and North Bengal, coffee is grown in Karnataka. Then, some of the important crops that are grown for our markets, you can see the banana plantation, the bamboo plantation in northeast, the banana plantation in southern part of India. These are few plantation crops that are grown to a very large extent in our different fields. And of course they require HYV seeds, good chemical fertilizers, pesticides, insecticides, and a good transport and communication system, so that these kind of crops to a very large extent can be taken to different industries, to different markets, to different warehouses, and could be sell on, and of course could be sold on, and to have much higher profits. So this is a part of your plantation crops. Now when we move on to our next page, where cropping patterns are explained to you, see children, there are three basic cropping seasons that exist in our country: Rabi season, Kharif, and Zaid season. Do remember that Rabi crops are always grown in winter from the month of October, and it lasts till December. And in summer they are harvested. So most of the time it has the cropping season of April to June. Few of the examples of Rabi crops are wheat, peas, gram, mustard, and they are grown in very large parts of India, in a very northern states also, in western parts also, Punjab, Haryana, Himachal, Jammu and Kashmir. There are many regions where such crops are grown. And of course, it is because of the temperate climate that these regions have, we are able to grow such type of crops to a very large extent. Second cropping season is of Kharif crops, and when we talk of these crops, they are grown with the onset of monsoons and they are harvested in September to October. Important crops that are grown in this season are paddy, maize, jowar, bajra, many types of pulses that you eat like urad or moong or arhar, then cotton and jute, basically the plantation crops also, and of course rice, the most important commercial crop too, is grown in this kharif season. And of course, there are many states where such crops are grown to a very large extent, because crops, kharif crops, especially like rice, require lot of water. So, in coastal regions of Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Maharashtra, particularly if we call Konkan coast, they are grown to a very large extent. And then we have the Zayat season. Do remember, it is a very short season, children, and of course it is known as the season between the Rabi and the Kharif season. And most of the crops that are produced in this Zayat season are watermelon, muskmelon, cucumber, and these are even fodder crops are also grown in in this season. Sugarcane takes almost a year to grow. So these are few cropping patterns, cropping seasons that you need to learn. So I hope children you must have understood till the cropping patterns in our